Happy Friday, everybody. We made it to the weekend. Well, almost. We have to get through Friday, and then we get a weekend, a pretty nice one. And then we welcome July. July is coming up. July starts on Monday, but this is Friday. It's the 28th day of June, 2019. This is Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I'm Dan Kuntz, your host. And although when Bob Dylan sang "A Hard Rain Is Gonna Fall" back in 1962, it was a metaphor. It was an idiom. He wasn't a weatherman, but he certainly... That term applied yesterday afternoon. Boy, did we have a gully washer. It was not in the forecast. A scattered thunderstorm, an isolated thunderstorm was certainly a possibility according to the National Weather Service, but we had more than just that. We had it coming down in buckets all over north central Washington, specifically the Wenatchee Valley. Took the brunt of this rather dramatic storm yesterday afternoon. We'll have more on that, but there's a time lapse that we put together. It's about 90 seconds long. You're going to see a lot of the different PTZ cameras that we use, not only on this program, but for news gathering purposes. You'll see some pretty cool and pretty dramatic footage. Check it out. This is good stuff. Wow, pretty spectacular stuff, wouldn't you say? We're going to show that to you again in a couple minutes when we get into the news, and those are from our PTZ cameras all over north central Washington. Now, everybody got some rain and some thunder and some lightning, but the brunt of it was really in the Wenatchee Valley as this slow-moving system came in and began to rain lightly at about a little after 1, and then started coming down pretty good at about 1:15, and then it just really came down. It ran out of gas, and it's just stopped, and it settled right over the East Wenatchee area, and down it came. Now, officially, at the National Weather Service's observation gear is at Pangborn Memorial Airport, and they said we got like 0.4 inches of rain. We got a lot more than that. There are other rain gauges. I didn't get a chance to check them this morning, but we certainly had a lot more rain than that. Probably record rainfall. We had a number of interesting weather phenomena, not just the rain and the thunder, which just shook the ground, and the lightning. The temperature dropped 10 degrees in about 45 minutes during the course of this storm. And this little piece of paper that we have here, we get this every morning from River Column. It's the Law Incident Summary Report. The East Wenatchee Police Department, the Wenatchee Police Department, and the Chelan County Sheriffs participate in this program. The Douglas County Sheriff doesn't do this. We don't know why. We've asked. They won't tell us. I don't know if you can see this or not. It's highlighted in yellow. You probably can't. The Wenatchee Police Department closed off or cordoned off 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, about 15 or 16 intersections between 1:30 and about 2:15 yesterday afternoon at the height of the storm. And all of it, of course, the vast majority of it was close to the river. Thurston got just completely inundated with water. Columbia Street got inundated with water. They shut down the intersection, and they had water over the roadway. Miller and Millardale, Thurston, Miller, Springwater, and Northwestern Washington Street and Wilson, Mission and Terminal Avenue, Mars Street and Mission Street, Highland Drive and Spokane Street, Peachy and South Wenatchee Avenue. Water's going to want to go where water's going to go. We have some other incredible footage from our friend Eric Granstrom, who went out and braved the elements and watched all the manhole covers pop up. Yeah, it was crazy. We got more on that when we get to news. We also have that weather forecast. Things are going to get a lot better. We still may have a stray thunderstorm, but nothing like yesterday. We're pretty sure about that. Your weather forecast is coming out. A lot of news to get to. Obviously, yesterday's thunderstorm is our top story. We got sports. Oh, the Apple Sox. Oh, another tough loss for the local 9. Oh, they up in Victoria. Got some great highlights, but it was a tough loss. Mariners losses too yesterday. We'll also let you know all the things that are happening this weekend, not only in the world of sports, but all over North Central Washington. We also have the obscure holiday, birthdays, today in history. Everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. His topic today is Don't Be Stupid. And then in the conversation portion of this program, Thad Lawson and Leah Good will be dropping by from the Veterans Thrift store. They had their grand opening last weekend. They moved into where the Salvation Army store used to be on North Wenatchee Avenue, right next door to the Red Lion Inn. They're in business. They're going great guns. So Thad and Leah will be in here live in the second half of the program to talk about that. All right, enough of this. It's almost 7 minutes after the hour. Let's take you around the valley with our Valley View cameras, and we'll start out, of course, with the cross camera. Couldn't really use this a great deal yesterday because it was completely covered in clouds, but look how beautiful it is this morning. This is exactly how it looked yesterday morning at this time before the storm came, and now everybody is all greened up again. We needed the rain, but not that much rain and not that much quickly. It was just too much for the storm systems to handle, and of course I'm afraid whatever cherries are on the trees, at least in the areas that were affected by this thunderstorm, probably took a pretty good beating. We'll do a follow-up on that for the news tonight. But good morning, Wenatchee and East Wenatchee. We're all cleaned up now after the rain. Camera 2. Where are we off to, Megan? Megan gets to decide. We're going to go see what's happening in that beautiful area that I don't recognize. Help me out, Megan. Oh, that's the Tumwater candy. See, the Tumwater camera. They moved it again. They had it moved yesterday, and I couldn't figure out where we were. So Leavenworth is down there. Don't know how bad Leavenworth got on the rain gauge. Again, most of it really was concentrated in the Wenatchee, East Wenatchee area. As the storm moved up north towards Aniat and Chelan, it kind of petered out and ran out of gas. Camera 3. It's a visit out to, oh boy, is that Union Valley? No, that's not Union Valley. What is that? Oh, that's the Manson water tower camera. Okay, that's pretty cool. That's looking up the lake. Of course, Manson's got a big Independence Day fireworks display coming up here on Thursday of next week. That's a beautiful view there. Good morning, Manson. Thanks for joining us. We're the #1 rated local live television show between 7 and 8 a.m. in the greater Manson area. And camera 4. We say good morning to Billy Goat. And yes, we can use Billy Goat again. Last time we used the Billy Goat camera, of course, we had that splotch of something on the camera lens. We debated whether it was residual bird droppings, if you will. We think it probably was, but the rain on Wednesday washed it all away. Now we can use the Billy Goat camera again, although it still looks like there's a spider web on it. Still an incredible view. You can just see a little sliver of the Alta Lake Golf Course at the very bottom of your screen, so we have that zoomed in just a little bit. And I'm not really sure how bad the Pateros, Bridgeport, Brewster area took the brunt of the storm. As I said before, as it gradually moved its way north, it kind of ran out of gas. I don't think they had nearly the dramatic weather that we had here in the Wenatchee Valley. So that's our tour around North Central Washington with our Valley View cameras. And now let's do that with the forecast at 9 minutes after the hour from the National Weather Service. What's going on is that low pressure system that's been sitting pretty much over metropolitan Portland, spinning around counterclockwise the last couple of days. The bad news is going to move right across North Central Washington. The good news is that it's running out of gas. It's really starting to weaken a little bit. So we could have one more round of showers or maybe a pop-up thunderstorm today. It is a possibility, so we could see some scattered showers. Certainly there's instability in the atmosphere. And that high today of 76 degrees is below normal, normally or right around 81 or 82. Yesterday's high was 66 degrees. That happened at 11:43 in the morning, and when this storm came in, the temperature dropped very dramatically, very rapidly. So 66 was all we got to. Our normal high would be 81. So it was a crazy day It was a crazy day. As far as thunderstorms today, we got a slide to show you. The National Weather Service sent this down the line about an hour ago. Isolated thunderstorms possible. As you can see, we're right at the very skiff of that. So it's a possibility, but not a great possibility for some rain and some thunderstorms and maybe occasional lightning strike. I don't think it's going to happen. As I mentioned before, that low pressure system is running out of gas. It's really starting to weaken up a little bit, so there's not a lot of unstable air for it to grab much anymore. So once again, for today, slight chance of some light showers. It would be this afternoon. We're going to see quite a bit of sunshine. High of about 76. It's going to cloud up tonight, 57 for the overnight low. The last remnants of that low pressure system exits on Saturday morning. By Saturday afternoon, we'll have quite a bit of sunshine with some clouds in the morning. We'll top off at about 80. Sunday, the last day of June, sunshine and 87. And then as we welcome July, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. And I like the fireworks on Thursday. Nice touch, Megan. On Independence Day, we're going to be up to about 89. So it's going to be very July-like when we get to July on Monday. But we're still not quite done with the unsettled weather. Hopefully, no more thunderstorms. Nothing like we had yesterday. It's 11 minutes after the hour. Before we take a break and we come back with your Friday morning news, special thanks to our friends at Confluence Health for sponsoring this program. Confluence Health, dedicated to providing safe, quality health care for everybody in North Central Washington. The news is 1 minute away. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley live this morning from Studio 6 in downtown Wenatchee on the NCW Live channel.
When the people you serve are your friends and family, you see the world a bit differently. You understand that your survival depends on the health and strength of your relationships. Your word is your reputation, and that doing the right thing is the only way of life that matters. At Confluence Health, we remain humble. Trust is a gift that is earned, a privilege, an honor. And we remain grateful for the trust you place in our hands.
Hi, I'm Jim Heinlein, agent here at Senior Insurances of North Central Washington, where we help our clients navigate the Medicare world. One of the things we really enjoy doing is teaching our clients about their rights. Like, did you know that if you have a traditional Medicare supplement, you can change that monthly all year long, regardless of prior health conditions? So if you'd like to know more about your options with Medicare, you can visit us at one of our 5 local offices, as well as give us a call at 888-2600.
Welcome back. We have fairly sunny skies, 52 degrees, mid-70s or so. A pop-up thunderstorm is possible later on today, but as we mentioned at the top of the hour, the low-pressure ridge has been making things very unsettled for the last few days and brought us that rather dramatic thunderstorm yesterday afternoon. Is beginning to weaken and beginning to move out of position. So the odds of a thunderstorm today are pretty weak, but we can't rule it out. And if you're just joining us, we have this incredible, about 97-second time-lapse video taken from our various PTZ cameras between the time the storm came in and the time the storm came out yesterday afternoon. Take one more look at it. dramatic footage. That's how it looked from high up above with our high-definition PTZ cameras down on the streets. It was pretty dramatic as well. In fact, our very own Eric Grandstrom went out and braved the elements, and he has some incredible footage to show you just how hard the rain came down right here in little old Wenatchee town. That's a lot of water in a very short time, and the storm runoff system simply couldn't handle that much water. That intersection was the intersection of Miller and Orchard Street in Wenatchee. So it started to rain about a little after 1 o'clock, and then it started to come down a little bit heavier. Then the thunderstorm proper began about 1:15. The heaviest downpours came down between about 1:30 to about 1:45, and again from about 2:15. The temperature dropped 10 degrees. It went from 64 degrees to 54 degrees in about 45 minutes as the storm came through. Outside of some minor flooding that you saw there, no real serious damage has been reported at all. Number 2 Canyon Road was closed for a period of time yesterday. Then they opened it up to one-lane traffic, and now the road has been reopened in its entirety. But there's still some residual mud and sticks and debris, especially in the lower elevations around the Wenatchee, East Wenatchee, they're going to have to deal with for a while. But wow, what a dramatic afternoon. In other news this morning, you can expect slow going over US 97 Blewett Pass and the Squaw Creek campground area over the next few days. That's where they're removing a drainage culvert about 5 miles south of the summit. There it is. The current culvert has about a 4-foot drop from the outlet down to the creek, and that makes it too high for spawning fish to jump and get into. It's being replaced with a concrete bridge, which improves habitat for steelhead, cutthroat, and rainbow trout. Also, the bridge is expected to help safe passage under the highway for other animals, like elk, for instance. The Washington State Department of Transportation is working with the Mid-Columbia Fisheries Enhancement Group on additional stream restoration work. Work began in April, should be completed by November. Drivers can expect no more than 20-minute delays with flagger control traffic and slower posted speeds. Some of the work, by the way, may require overnight flagging as well. U.S. Representative Kim Schreier is going to be in town. She's going to be in Wenatchee tonight to talk about fire preparedness and the latest technology that's going to be used to fight wildfires this summer. The forum is going to be at the Wenatchee City Hall Council Chambers from 5 to 6 o'clock. The doors open at 4:30. Appearing with Schreier will be John Sokich. He is a National Oceanographic and Atmospheric Administration meteorologist. He's going to talk about the GOES satellite. The GOES satellites are going to be used in our area to assist with wildfire management. Also speaking will be Leavenworth Fire and Rescue Chief Mick Lamar. Well, candidates for the mayor of Waterville will be at a forum tonight at Pioneer Park in Waterville. The forum, which begins at 6:30 this evening, will feature candidates Chuck Driver, J.D. Greening, Lloyd Smith, and Jill Thompson. Both Driver and Thompson are current members of the City Council. They are competing to replace Mayor Royal Devaney, who has led the city for the last 27 years. The top 2 finishers, of course, in the August 6th primary will move on to the general election. Well, the Wenatchee Valley is widely becoming known as an outdoor recreational mecca. No surprise there. And as our very own Kyle Montgomery tells us, the amount of tourism dollars taken in already this year proves it.
The Wenatchee Valley was the place to be for outdoor recreation late last month. Tennis, swimming, running, cycling, and mountain biking all found a niche and then some in the Wenatchee Valley from May 31st to June 2nd. The Wenatchee City Pool hosted the Apple Capital Swim Meet. The Wenatchee National Forest, just south of Cashmere, hosted the Red Devil Trail Run. Pybus Public Market hosted the Apple Century Bike Ride. Squilchuck State Park hosted the Student Cycling League State Mountain Bike Championship, and the Wenatchee Racquet and Athletic Club hosted the Junior Cusick Cup Tennis Tournament. All told, the Valley's variety of outdoor venues coupled with the popularity of these events brought thousands of people and dollars to the region. According to Wenatchee Valley Sports, the swim meet alone had an economic impact on the region that crossed the $500,000 threshold, reaching $552,000. Besides parks, restaurants and hotels also saw a surge in activity between May 31st and June 2nd, with more than 4,000 tourists visiting the Wenatchee Valley. Early reports placed the total economic impact of these activities near $1 million for the 3-day period. With NCW Life News, I'm Kyle Montgomery.
Thank you, Kyle, for that report. And finally, what's going on this weekend? I haven't got a clue, but we have an expert who works right here at the NCW Life Channel. Her name is Megan McPherson, and she's going to tell you what's going on this weekend.
Here's a look at what's on tap this weekend around the Wenatchee Valley. Cashmere Founders Days is this Friday through Saturday. Friday, the celebration kicks off with downtown activities from 5 to 8 p.m. Saturday, the fun continues with entertainment for all ages. Start off downtown for an all-day car show hosted by Mission Creek Community Club and make your way to Cashmere Riverside Park to enjoy musical entertainment. A street fair, the famous ping pong ball drop from a helicopter, Cashmere Valley Bank Kids Zone, and so much more. Trivia Night with the Wenatchee Public Library is this Friday at 7 p.m. at Pybus Public Market. Teams of 2 to 8 players compete for top prizes in this evening of challenging trivia. Snacks are provided by the Friends of the Wenatchee Public Library. Planning to enjoy the concert in Centennial Park? Come to the Beer Garden at the museum this Friday at 7 p.m. The parking lot offers a perfect view and listening spot to enjoy the Pre-Funk Live on the Centennial Park stage. Beer and wine will be available for purchase. Must be 21 to enter. Dog Days, a family show, is this Saturday from 10 to 3 at the Town Toyota Center. Bring the family and enjoy a rally, kids vet clinic, agility training, vendors, Trinity inflatables, education, and more. You can also bring your well-behaved dog on a leash. And finally, Eastside Parkway Pileup is this Saturday from 5 to 9 on Valley Mall Parkway on 9th Street in East Wenatchee. Come out and enjoy classic cars, trucks, and other vehicles. There will be music, awards in 5 categories, and more. This is a fun and free event for the whole family. For more information on this weekend's events and others, visit the community calendar at ncwlife.com.
Thank you very much, Megan. We appreciate it. And of course, wherever you go this weekend, don't forget to take us along. We're portable. We stream 24/7, so you can watch the NCW Life Channel out and about on your smart tablet or your smartphone, whatever the case may be. The news with Grant Olson and Eric Granstrom will come your way at 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, and 10 o'clock, 5, 6, and 10. What happened on this Friday? We'll let you know at 5, 6, and 10 with the news. Grant in the anchor chair also handles the weather forecast. Eric Granstrom behind the sports desk. Again, 5, 6, and 10. You can also watch it on demand whenever you want to by going to our website at ncwlife.com. You can use our website as a tool for you to get a hold of us. There's a Contact Us icon in the upper right-hand corner of your screen. Just click on it, fill out the form, and we'll get it. You can also email us, news@ncwlife.com. You can go to our Facebook page and leave us a private message there. Don't forget to like us. You can pick up the telephone and give us a call. We have a Twitter handle. We have a song in our heart. We're a bunch of good folks here at the NCW Life Channel. Wow, this day is flying by. It's 24 minutes after the hour. When we come back, sports, the obscure holiday today, and history birthdays. Everyone is entitled to Mike McNally's opinion. Our friends from the Veterans Warehouse, the brand new store that just opened last week on the north side of town. We'll talk to those folks coming up too. You're watching Wake Up in Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Life Channel.
I told Mr. Nielsen about Simon. He's the best doctor because I like the medicines like he gives me.
He asks like more questions, and that's why I feel like he's more interested in the health. For me, it means a lot. That means he really cares about, about him.
I like you, Simon, and you're my best friend.
Family roles change with time. You may find yourself being an unpaid caregiver to a loved one. Caregiving can be rewarding, but also stressful. Taking care of yourself is vital. Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington has low or no cost services for unpaid caregivers, such as in-home support, care supplies, and counseling. Connect in your local area by calling Aging and Adult Care at 800-572-4459 and mention you're interested in caregiver support. back 25 minutes after the hour. Fairly sunny skies, 52 degrees. A pop-up thunderstorm is possible this afternoon. Nothing like we had yesterday. And then quite a bit of sunshine for the rest of the day and into the weekend. Let's do sports. Now that we know Chinook salmon exists in Lake Chelan, thanks to reports like these, and that the population has increased, is there a concern that everyone is going to go out and decimate the population of Chinook salmon in Lake Chelan? Are they going to go out and catch them all? Well, Department of Fish and Wildlife biologist Travis Maitland says there are rules in place to make sure that doesn't happen.
I don't think so. We have a one fish daily limit per person on the lake right now, and it's a 15-inch minimum. That regulation has been on that lake for as long as I can remember. And so the population has persisted through many years with that regulation in place. I think that Mother Nature and, fluctuating levels of predation and competition as far as forage goes will dictate what that population does more than the fishery the way it is right now.
So yeah, they're there. So how do you catch them? Well, Maitland says you do what most good fishermen do. You talk to other fishermen and you talk to the experts.
Maybe Google it, social media, see what other folks are talking about on there, what they're using. Some folks will say where they're fishing out on the lake. You can start there. Once you're out on the water, talk with other anglers. A lot of folks are really eager to say, hey, yeah, this is what they're biting on today. This is where we were. This is how deep we were. And then another really good thing, a tip would be, if you're willing to spend a little bit of money, go out on a trip with a guide or two and learn the ropes that way.
A great source of information is our good friend Rick Graybill at Hooked on Toys. He ran a guide service for years on Lake Chelan. He knows that lake as good as anybody. So go talk to Rick. He'll let you know where to go and how deep and what you need to use if you want to try and catch Chinook salmon, which, by the way, is pretty darn good eating as well. Well, for the second night in a row, the Victoria Harbor Cats walked off in extra innings against the Apple Sox. 13-12 the final. In 11 innings, the win completes a 3-game sweep by the host team. Apple Sox are now going to head to Corvallis for 3 games. Last night's game looked like it would be all Wenatchee early on. The Sox scored 6 runs in the first inning, but that would just be the opening salvo in a crazy baseball game. Mike Edwards had the call. Highlights courtesy of the Harbor Cats Facebook page.
Breaking ball lined into left field. This will get down for a base hit. Sage is in to score. The throw to the cutoff man, and it's going to go to first. McKenzie came in as well. It's going to be a 2-run single. Safe at first is Dalton Harrow, and it's an early 2-0 lead for the Apple Sox. A 1 pitch is lined into center field. This will get down for a base hit. Around third is Dalton Harrow. The throw from Pacoda is going to be cut off, and it's 3-0 Wenatchee. The 1 inning, if he can just focus in here. This one's drilled in the air to deep right field. Going back on it, Pacoda. He's out of room, and it's gone. A 3-run home run. As the 3-2 pitch is on the way, and this one's driven deep to left center field, back towards the wall. It's gone. And by plenty for Dalton Harrow. A solo shot makes it 7-3. Up there in the batter's box awaiting the pitch from Cuenca. That one comes in tight, and it gets all the way to the backstop. Here comes Haney, and he will score. Harbor Cats with the tying run in scoring position. Nogales with a liner out to the gap in left center field. This might score them all. Neiman's in. Paxton scores. Around third comes Pettit for the plate, and he scores as well. A bases clearing double for Emilio Nogales, and the Harbor Cats lead it 9-8. 1-0 pitch. Pacoda sends a high fly ball out to deep left center field, going back towards the wall. It is down for extra bases. Pettit scores easily. Pacoda going to third, and he is safe. RBI triple for Nate Pacoda, and the Harbor Cats have an 11-8 lead. Golden opportunity for them to get back in this. As it's lined out to the gap in left center field, this is going to score at least 2. Hustling around third, and it's going to score them all. All 3 come in, bases clearing double, and coming through with the big hit, Johnny Sage. All of a sudden, it's a 1-run game here today. 2-0 pitch is skied in the air to shallow left field. We'll see if this is going to be deep enough. In comes Turner. The throw home to the plate. It is not in time, and the run scores. And we are all tied up at 12. Pettit is 1 for 4, 3 runs scored, 2 walks, and 2 strikeouts on his line. This one gets to the backstop. Here comes Willow, and this game is over. On the wild pitch, Jason Willow scores from third, and you can say good night. Harbor Cats walk it off for the second day in a row and sweep the Wenatchee Apple Sox.
Dramatic game. Dalton Heron, by the way, finished 3 for 5. He had a home run and 3 RBIs. Jason Heredia also went 2 for 3. He had a 3-run home run. Johnny Sage and Quinn Ayers each drove in 3 runs. Wenatchee will be at Cowlitz tonight. First pitch, 6:35. Weather created quite a number of problems last night in the West Coast League. Yakima Valley and Port Angeles game, they never got going because of the rain. Portland and Kelowna didn't get a little baseball in, and then they were suspended in the bottom of the 5th due to rain. There was other games, though, that they did get in. Jacob Dobmeyer and 5 other pitchers combined on a 2-hit shutout as Corvallis topped Ridgefield 2-0. Chaz Martinez started a 5-run 6th inning with a solo home run to lead Walla Walla to an 8-3 win over Bend. And in non-league game in a Battle of the Bears, Highline topped Cowlitz 7-2. Well, the Mariners were sunk by a 4-run 4th inning, highlighted by Orlando Arcia's 3-run home run. Milwaukee beats Seattle 4-2. Mike Leake took the loss. He went 6 innings. He allowed 4 runs, 8 hits, 5 strikeouts. Daniel Vogelbach and Tim Beckman had RBI doubles in the 6th. So they took 2 of 3 from the Brewers anyway. Seattle now travels to Houston to take on the Astros. First pitch at 5:10. Tommy Malone will pitch after an opener. They're going to do an opener again. Wade Miley will toe the rubber for the Stros. Also in the American League West yesterday, to the Les Schwab scoreboard we go. Ariel Gerardo and 2 relievers held Detroit to 1 run on 9 hits. Texas continued their hot streak, a 3-1 win at Detroit. Rangers now trail Houston by just 4.5 games in the American League West. Speaking of the Astros, they are limping into the All-Star break. They lost to Pittsburgh 10-0. The Pirates smacked 5 home runs, 3 off Houston starter Brad Peacock. And Shohei Ohtani's 2-run home run highlighted a 5-run third as LA topped Oakland 8-3. Let's talk soccer. The U.S. women's national team takes on the host country, France, today in Paris. It's the quarterfinals of the FIFA Women's World Cup. The game kicks off at noon. You can watch it on Fox. Yesterday, England advanced to the semifinals with a 3-0 win over Norway. Coming up tomorrow, the other quarterfinals, you got Italy and the Netherlands at 6 a.m. and Germany and Sweden at 9:30. The Wenatchee Valley Skyhawks wrap up their regular season at home tonight. They take on the Tri-Cities Fire to kick off 7 o'clock at the Town Toyota Center. Wenatchee Valley is already locked in. They have a home playoff game against Reno. The winner of that game will face Idaho for the American West Football Conference Championship. And finally, what's happening on the weekend sports schedule? The Velocity Swimming is hosting the Big Starlight Open at the Wenatchee City Pool. It's today through Sunday. There's a 10, 25, and 45-mile mountain bike competition happening in Mission Ridge. It's called Mission Granduro. It starts tomorrow morning at 6 a.m. The Hum Babes and Outlaws men's softball tournament starts tomorrow and runs through Sunday at Walla Walla Point Park, and the Riverball women's softball tournament Saturday and Sunday at Kirby Billingsley Hydro Park. And those are just some of the games that people are playing. On this Friday, always June 28th, is Paul Bunyan Day. It's today's obscure holiday. Of course, the gigantic lumberjack of American and Canadian folklore. Paul Bunyan books, Paul Bunyan Tall Tales and Stories are one of the very first books that I remember as a child reading. So I was kind of into Paul Bunyan. He was credited with many deeds along with his Big Blue Ox, Babe. He, of course, created logging in the U.S. He scooped out the Great Lakes so Babe could have water to drink. He cleared the Dakotas so they could do farming. Of course, Babe's footprints created the 10,000 lakes of Minnesota. Learn more about Paul Bunyan and his tall tales, best told around a campfire, of course. Why Paul Bunyan Day is celebrated on June 28th? Because the internet told me so, and they wouldn't lie to me. 35 minutes after the hour. Today in history. 105 years ago today, Archduke Franz Ferdinand of Austria and his wife Sophie were assassinated in Sarajevo, Yugoslavia, and that started the chain of events that would eventually, a couple of months later, lead to the beginning of World War So World War I as an actual starting date, it would be today, June 28th, 1914. And exactly 5 years to the day later, the war ended. Today is the 100th anniversary of the ending of World War I. It's like nobody's even paying attention to it. Yes, June 28th, 1919, the Treaty of Versailles was signed. The state of war between Germany and the Allies came to an end. World War I ended 100 years ago today. Happy 93rd birthday to Mercedes-Benz. Gottlieb Daimler and Carl Benz merged their two competing companies into one company. They got tired of trying to steal each other's customers, so they said, let's get together and just have one company. We'll call it Mercedes-Benz. Their motto then and their motto now, the best or nothing. Mercedes-Benz is 93 years old today. And June 28th, 1935, it was 84 years ago today that FDR, Franklin Delano Roosevelt, orders the Treasury Department to build Fort Knox, the United States Bullion Depository, inside the walls of Fort Knox. Fort Knox is a fort, an Army fort. The actual building that you see there, people refer to it as Fort Knox. It's actually called the United States Bullion Depository. It's got a lot of gold in it, about 147 tons of gold is in it. So if you use the latest trading gold on the open market, there's about $180 billion worth of gold inside that building. During World War II, that building also housed the original copies of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution of the United States, because it was considered impregnable, just in case, in the worst case scenario. And for security reasons, of course, nobody is ever allowed inside Fort Knox. That has been the case ever since it opened. But there were constant rumors throughout the 1960s and the 1970s that Fort Knox had nothing in it. It was just empty, that all that gold bullion had been moved to different locations all over the United States. And the rumors just wouldn't go away. And finally, on September 23rd, 1974, they said, nuts to this. They allowed members of the United States Congress and the news media to tour Fort Knox just to put to rest all of these crazy rumors that Fort Knox was empty. The director of the United States Mint took them on the tour, and sure enough, it's got gold in it. So they got rid of that little problem. Happy birthday to Fort Knox. And finally, at 38 minutes after the hour, birthdays. Two Hollywood legends and a couple of Johns celebrate a birthday. There's Mel Brooks. He's 93 years old today. Very, very funny guy. He created Get Smart, of course, the television show. Blazing Saddles, my personal favorite. Young Frankenstein, silent movie, High Anxiety, Spaceballs. Mel Brooks is 93 years old today. Kathy Bates, the American actress, is 71. Of course, she won an Oscar for Misery. What a great, we were talking about that the other day, as a matter of fact, Misery. She was in Fried Green Tomatoes. Of course, she was played the unsinkable Molly Brown in the movie Titanic. Kathy Bates, 71 years old today. A lot of people still consider John Elway the greatest quarterback of all time. I think he's got a pretty good argument for that. John Elway, 63 years old today. Now, of course, he's the general manager of the Denver Broncos. He was born, and by the way, in Port Angeles. He has Northwest roots. His wife is from Tacoma. His first wife. He's considered one of the finest quarterbacks of all time, and I think he's probably got a pretty good case for that. John Elway is 63, got a couple of Super Bowl rings. And speaking of John Cusack celebrates a birthday. He's 53 years old today. He broke through with the movie Say Anything, being John Malkovich. He was the lead in the movie 2012. There he is. John Cusack is 53 years old today. We're going to take a break. Mike's opinion today is good. Mike's theory is don't be stupid. Everyone is entitled to Mike Magnotti's opinion. Coming up, and then my conversation with Thad Lawson and Leah Good. The Veterans Thrift Store is open for business. They'll be coming up next. You're watching Wake Up Wenatchee Valley on the NCW Live channel.
What's your auto mocha emergency?
It's a Frappuccino mocha with whip.
The espresso shakes are my most favorite because I can get any flavor. Peanut butter chocolate for pita.
Definitely the espresso shakes. My favorite is the mocha for pitas.
A peach Red Bull.
At Doghouse Motorsports, we ride what we sell. There's a lot we could say about the CD Spark and the CD GTI, but ultimately, the ride says it all.
That's pretty much it. It's a great house, great neighborhood.
It's great. Sam's still getting used to the idea of moving.
Sam, you play basketball?
Yeah.
Let me show you something. Now I'm thinking, you put your hoop right here, and you even got enough room for a three-point line. One of the things I've noticed is that if you got a hoop in your driveway, you make friends real fast.
At Coldwell Banker Levine, our agents don't just understand real estate, they understand what home is all about.
If you are looking for dependable car service and repair, visit the good guys at Quick Lube and Tune. They've been keeping cars and trucks in the Wenatchee Valley running smooth for 35 years. Quick Lube and Tune is your hometown shop for a 10-minute oil change, complete tune-ups, alignments, brakes, mufflers, air conditioning service, and more. Get more life out of your vehicle by bringing it to the local guys you can trust at Quick Lube and Tune on South Wenatchee Avenue.
Hi, this is Brian Snyder with Black Rock Asphalt Services here in Wenatchee, your local Black Rock seal coat company. Have you looked at your driveway or parking lot lately? Is it gray and oxidized? Does it have cracks that have not been taken care of? Or do you have striping that is pretty much non-existent? Please give us a call locally here, 509-665-9769. Learn more at blackrockasphaltsealcoating.com.
Hi, I'm Cordell Schroeder, owner of East Wenatchee Mobile Storage.
If you're thinking about making a move anytime soon, check out the East Wenatchee Mini Storage brand new mobile storage service. They drop it off at your location, you pack it, and they pick it up and store it in their protected warehouse at East Wenatchee for as long as you need. When you're ready, they'll drop it off at your new home or office. East Wenatchee Mini Storage is excited to offer this brand new service to our region.
Call 509-884-8643 or find us on the web at ewministorage.com.
This is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and everybody is entitled to my opinion. Now, gentlemen, you know what your wives and your girlfriends often complain about? You, their hubbies or their boyfriends, and how you gawk at other women when you're with them. Now, what's wrong with you? Show some respect. Look, men like to look at eye candy every once in a while. I know that. But you think it's not a big deal, but to do it blatantly when you're with your woman is really derogatory to your relationship. Now, the technical scientific words for openly gawking at women when you're with your wife or your significant other is stupid. So don't do it. Now, this is Mike, Mad Dog Magnotti, and that's my opinion.
When you call Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning, you get 35 years of experience and customer service in the Wenatchee Valley. Dick's friendly staff strongly believe in repairing before replacing and service all major brands of HVAC units. Dick's Heating and Air Conditioning is your local, independent, trained comfort specialists, proudly serving all of North Central Washington. Call 884-6444 today.
Hey folks, Carrie from Blueberry Hills in Manson. Remember the good old days? Sunday supper at Grandma's and the best recipes being passed down through generations? Well, come on out to Blueberry Hills and find amazing food with huge portions at family-friendly prices. From Benedict's to burgers to fresh fruit pies, there is something for everyone. Don't miss Blueberry Hills, where you pick, you sit, you eat, and you visit. wildaboutberries.com.
Hi, I'm Lehman Williams, General Manager of Crown Furniture and Mattress. 3 years ago, we decided to make a change to focus on products built in the USA. We made this decision based on better construction, better quality, and better warranties. At Crown Furniture and Mattress, we take great pride in knowing with each and every delivery, we're not just delivering furniture, we're delivering quality and comfort for your family to enjoy for years to come. So stop by and feel the difference at 736 South Wenatchee Avenue, across from Stan's.
Being able to support yourself and your family is an important part of who we are. We all need to know we're able to provide ourselves with a secure future. Some job seekers have a harder time finding work. That's why Goodwill's Employment Connection Center is here, a free walk-in job search assistance program designed to help people find work. When you shop at or donate to Goodwill, you're really being a job creator. And that's a good thing for everyone's future. Goodwill. There's more behind the store.
Welcome back to Wake Up Wenatchee Valley. I am Dan Kuntz. My guests today, I've known Thad for quite some time. I used to do some live radio broadcast remotes during the Veterans Stand-Down event at the Armory on 5th Street in Wenatchee. That's how I got to know Thad, and he's been out and about helping veterans of North Central Washington with various projects, and he's got another one that's up and running right next to the old Red Lion Hotel here in town. It's where the Salvation Army used to have their store. They don't have it anymore for reasons we don't know, but joining me this morning to talk about that on my far left is Thad Lawson, and to my immediate left is Leah Good, both of them making their debuts on this program. So big round of applause. Listen to the crowd.
Oh, I love it.
We don't have a studio audience. We should get one. It'd be a lot easier.
It'd be awesome.
So, your first timers, Thad and Leah, you get the first questions as usual for first timers. A little bit about yourself. Tell folks about Thad Lawson.
Thad Lawson. I'm a Bulldog from Kazimir High School. Graduated '84. Went in the military. Found myself in the Gulf War in '91. Came home and been trying to get things straight ever since.
So far, so good?
There's been some lumps and bumps.
Yeah, well, we all have that. Leah, tell us about yourself.
I was born and raised here.
The questions are going to get harder as we go on.
I just.
Okay. Good. Well, that's you're doing good. You're doing fine. Tell me about, you called me about 2 weeks ago.
Yes.
Thad, to catch up, because I again, as I mentioned before, I've worked with Thad on the Veterans Stand-Down events, and you gave me some good news about your new location. Tell me about this whole history of this Veterans Thrift store from beginning to today. How the whole deal.
2013, good number. 2013, we put our paperwork in. I think it was June or July. By November, we got paperwork back from the IRS. We were a bona fide 501c3. The premise was to have a one-stop shop veterans service center for anything and everything. We would, at that point, we'd already been doing the stand down for about 5 years. That was at South Columbia Street. We had 33,000 square feet of really fun stuff, and it seemed to be working perfectly. Had, I think at that time, up to 6 employees. Building got sold, so we were forced to move. Went up to 7 South Wenatchee Avenue. As everyone in town knows, Wenatchee Avenue for parking, not so good. Mm-hmm. Really hard to make it there selling shirts for $2 a piece. Had a problem with the building. It's old. A lot of our main street buildings are starting to age out. Kind of shut down for a little bit, did a lot of yard sales to try to get the inventory down. And then the Salvation Army closed up, and we went to 1219 North Wenatchee, and 35,000 square foot building if you include the basement. And so 2 weeks ago, gave you a call saying, hey, we're ready to advertise our grand opening and let everybody know we're here. Mm-hmm. One of the things we were trying to get out is we have 35,000 square feet of clothes and shoes and boots and coats and hats and all kinds of need items that our veterans in need and the homeless in general just need. We have tons of programs, and we need a lot more people to come in and start utilizing those programs. On average, we're used to giving away $2 million worth of stuff to help people in need. Since we got a late start in basically December when we kind of did the soft open, I think we're maybe gave away close to 800,000. So we need another $1.2 million worth of people to come in between now and December and make this happen. We're totally inundated with stuff, and we've got to find some people to get the stuff to.
Well, where do you get the stuff?
Community at large. This valley they've been awesome to us. The last, what have we done this, 8 years now? Three from 9 to 6 years. $2 million a year for the last 6 years, plus everything we sell to keep the business, pay the bills, administrative costs. And the community has just kept that rolling with us. And awesome, thank you. You guys rock.
The last time I visited the Veterans Thrift Store was when you guys were on the Avenue, downtown. And I was amazed about how much stuff was in that building. And that was a big building. And then I went down to the basement. We were trying to find something. I can't remember what it was I was looking for. It was a unique piece of equipment. and they couldn't find it anywhere. And so we went down into the basement. I didn't know there was a basement, and there was a whole basement full of stuff, just crammed full of stuff. It was like the final scene in Citizen Kane, when they go through Charles Foster Kane's stuff. And now you have even more square footage than you did downtown, and that is, I have not been into your campus yet. Is it ceiling to rafters again?
It's getting very close.
Yeah.
Very, very close. We got 25,000 upstairs. No, 20,000 upstairs, 15,000 square feet in the basement. We've got about 10,000 square feet of the basement open, but you can only get to about 5,000 of it because it's just one big giant box. Yeah, we got a box that big. We've got Yamaha stereo components. We got Kenwood stereo components. We got laptops coming in. We got the old I think the oldest one we got is a Windows 96, 95 computer, and it works. It's kind of cool. We got some old other ones. What's the other brand of computer shop?
There's a bunch of them.
We got some really old things. We actually had the very first computer that came out. First one.
Like a Macintosh, in the early 80s?
Yeah, we had a Mac, I guess it's a Mac II, Apple II, because the Apple I was just a circuit board. We had one of those working.
Wow.
And then we get some really nice stuff. You have Apple Annies and the antique stores about 2 to 3 times a year donating stuff to us. So we are running an eBay store, we're running an Amazon store.
How do you keep track of all this stuff, Leah?
It's hard.
What's the how do you work an inventory system? Do you have a?
I have a Leah.
You have Leah, and so you're in charge of keeping track of all this stuff.
Yeah, I don't know if you could really call it keeping track. I mean, there's just so much. It's just if you see something, you kind of gotta have a photographic memory almost.
But you do pretty good at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, I remember what I came down there for was I was trying to find a Super 8 projector for Super 8 movies. You didn't have one, which was hard to believe because you had about everything else there.
We got them now.
I'll have to come down and do it. And you couldn't find any, but you took my name and number and said whenever it comes in, we'll give you a call. I'll have to go down and look at it because I still need a Super 8 projector because I got boxes full of Super 8 movies. I don't know what the heck's on them. So I got to run them through.
Go into our 5,000 square foot furniture room. You'll see 3 glass cases. And the middle one on the left side is an 8, and I think I have a Super 8 sitting there.
How do you determine the value of it? How do you price items?
Oh, that's hard sometimes. We were using eBay for a long time, but now eBay is, you can see the same exact item. One will be 5 cents, the other one will be $25,000. So it's kind of hard to use eBay to kind of price things. So you got eBay, Etsy. There's a lot of let it go now sites. So we use those. Our rule of thumb is to find out what it sold for new, cut the price in half, and then look at it. If it's got some chips and dents, take off 5, 10, 15%. If it's still in the box, let it go.
And it's also a good place to go for that obscure part for a piece of electronic equipment that you want to get running again, but you only need one part, you don't have it. You can go down there and probably find that and cannibalize it.
We've been called the new Radio Shack of Wenatchee.
There you go. That makes perfect sense. But most of it's closed, right? I think the vast majority of it is closed.
10 times 10. I got 85 racks of clothes.
Wow, that's a lot of clothes. That's a lot of clothes. Do you have to wash them all before they go on the rack, or how does that work?
No. If it's not good enough to put out, we don't put it out.
Okay.
We do clothing drives. So anything just goes into the clothing drive and it goes into the recycle. We're trying to be green as best we can. We don't want anything to go to the landfill at all.
Was there any concern at all that you wouldn't be able to fill up 35,000 square feet with stuff, but you seem to pull that off?
I was getting a little nervous.
Yeah.
And then we did the soft open, and next thing we know, I think right now we're doing 5 to 7 pickup loads a day are coming into us. And we're still doing the estate sales. We did 2 this week. I think we have another one set for the second week of July.
Because the YWCA is out of the estate sale business now for the most part, so you've kind of filled that void.
Well, that explains why we have 3 people doing estate sales on the staff now. Okay.
So how many people are on your staff?
We got 4 full-timers, 1 3/4-timer, 2 part-timers, and 1 OJT-er.
Okay. So, but everybody's busy.
Oh, yeah.
Everybody's busy. So you get a truckload of stuff, and people just go through it, and you figure out where it goes, and you put a price on it, and away it goes.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah. So you're in charge of the inventory, right? And you pretty much know what's there and what isn't there, and how to find it.
Yeah.
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 Is that overwhelming at times with all that stuff?
It was at first. You kind of get over the overwhelming thing, and the fact that nothing is really. It's not going to be like a department store, really, ever. And that's kind of the fun part about it. It's kind of like a treasure hunt, so.
Yeah, I mean, the store is laid out. I mean, you have your different departments, as you mentioned. You got electronics, and you got clothes, and you got vacuum cleaners, and what have you. So if you're looking for a specific item, you can go right to it. But if you're just wandering in, you're probably going to spend quite a bit of time there, aren't you?
Yeah, I say on average is probably 30 to 40 minutes until they find the basement, and then we don't see them until closing.
Do you give them some breadcrumbs so they can find their way out? Is that how that works?
We'd like to do a shout out then if you're going to open that.
Go ahead.
We had the little room in the back that's supposed to be a coffee shop. We're looking to try to find. We were trying to have it up and running by our grand opening. We could not. We called everyone around, trying to find an espresso machine, at least a 2-head espresso machine. We want to open up some Boom Boom, Zams, candy bars, some organic cookies, this, that, and everything else. And because we know when people come in, 35,000 square feet can take a little bit of time. And that little coffee, maybe a pop, maybe a water, maybe a cookie, maybe a little slice of pizza, something, and a bran muffin, to get them through that 2.5 day search. A lot of people get in the basement, and like last night, we were turning off the top lights, and all of a sudden people started coming out of the basement on us. That's happened before at the other places as well, so it's nothing new. It didn't scare us too bad. But yeah, you get down in the basement, it is a 10,000 square foot treasure hunt. We got it kind of set up. We got a lot of shelves down there. I think we got 50 shelves. But still, then we still got, I'd say, another 8,000 square feet. It's just open with just stuff. And
have you ever got the occasional really nice thing that you weren't expecting, or maybe something that is like a collectible or valuable that the people who gave it to you didn't know what they were giving to you? Like, this is a vase, it might be worth a lot of money now. I mean, that kind of stuff.
They're okay. You remember the old westerns?
Sure.
The cowboys had that big thing, and they had the picture, and they splashed water on their face. Well, if you have one of those from that era, some of them are called Charlottes. I didn't know this, but they're called Charlottes. Brad Pirate, who's now the commander of the VFW, comes in and checks our stuff for us. He goes, "You don't have a Charlotte?" And I'm like I'm thinking Charlotte's Web, a spider, right? Because he's kind of a jokester. Anyhow, we had one of those come in. It was valued when we went and priced it all out. I think it was like $370. Then we had an estate come in, and obviously they didn't know what they had, and they gave it to us. We have, I didn't know this, but apparently spearheads are not common to our area.
Okay.
We didn't really have the big game, and we have what do you say that thing was? We have a spearhead that's worth about $21,000. We're thinking of taking it up to the museum. We've tried to get off of it. We had the paperwork finally from the estate that shows that we didn't go pilfer it. But at the same time, we get some really neat items that come in. And that's why we have the eBay and the Amazon for those items.
So if you're an expert in if you're like a collector of a certain item, I collect music, albums specifically. If you know what you're talking about, and you're an expert in your field, it's almost like Antiques Roadshow. You never know what you might find wandering through 35,000 square feet. We're almost out of time. Hours and all that good stuff, real quick.
Monday through Saturday, we're open from 9 to 6. Sundays, we just started doing 11 to 4.
Okay. And you can't miss them. It's at where Salvation Army used to set up shop right next door to the Red Lion Inn on North Wenatchee Avenue. Thad and Leah, thanks for doing the show. Keep in touch. Let me know how business is, all right?
We will, absolutely.
I'll be seeing you soon. Everybody have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye-bye.